407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, except vampires. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking a look at the 2012 action horror Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Starring Benjamin Walker in the titular role, produced by Tim Burton and directed by, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. The film follows the real president's life story, at least to an extent, which means we start off here with him as a child.
Kind of mistake. I ain't no slave.
Fuck yeah, slavery! Now it's a party. After pissing off this dude, he sneaks into their house and, oh man, I think Mama got vampirified. This has little to do with the film, but young Abe sitting on his mother's deathbed gave me some real flashbacks to when I was a child and my granddad was dying. I'd sit by his bed and tell him every detail of what happened in that week's episode of Doctor Who. I'd show him every trading card I had and described him, which were better than others. He loved it. If I'm ever lucky enough to get to grow old and have a family, if I'm lying in my deathbed in my final days and my grandchild came and sat with me, if I was in my granddad's position, I'd be so fucking bored of that twerp. Flash forward to 5 years later and, oh shit, that guy from Mamma Mia's in this. Abraham seeks revenge, and after successfully shooting his mother's killer, the movie is over. Fuck, that was actually pretty scary. We get some cool action, and after an overlong exposition dump, it's training montage time.
So tell me, Mr. Lincoln, what do you hate?
Trees! Lincoln is sent to the city of Springfield, where he meets Joshua Speed, played by Jimmy Simpson. And with a name like that, it's only right he lives in Springfield. Abe starts working and living at Speed's shop, and one day, oh shit, it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Todd.
Originally I made a Huntress reference here, but then I remembered that literally no one watched Birds of Prey. So, after a bit of vampire slang, our future president ends up at a fancy ball. And I've got to say, I love how overt Joshua is in trying to set up Abraham and Mary. He's such a little matchmaker, and the friendship between Lincoln and Speed is easily the most believable part of the film. The two start dating, and shortly later, oh shit, it's Falcon! Or, sorry, Captain America. I'll get used to that. With all this practice, Abe finally manages to get his revenge in a scene that had me getting Vietnam War flashbacks to that scene from The Lion King. This is probably a good time to talk about how awesome the action is here. Everything is fast and brutal. It does occasionally dip too heavily into CGI, but there's a ton of gore, and I've had a really good time of it so far. It's also got some pretty damn cool and occasionally very scary vampire effects that help to keep things feeling tense. After this CGI fest of a scene, we're finally introduced to the main villain, Mr. Burns, and his plan to... Wait, no, wrong Springfield. The rest of the film is set during the Civil War, and the aging effects on our lead do not look great. And this is where the film really starts to lose it for me. The pacing feels far too fast, considering by this point we are over halfway through the movie and have basically just gotten to the actual story. Almost everything that happened up until this point could easily have been told through a montage. While I have no issue with the story it's been telling of a young Lincoln, the jump into this older version of himself throws the whole film into a bit of a tailspin. Of course, that's not to say that everything that follows is bad. Far from it. After focusing his efforts on the war for many years, a personal tragedy pulls Abraham back into the world of vampires, which eventually concludes with a really awesome train sequence. Lincoln's all like, on your left, and saves Falcon from this vampy boy. The performances are pretty bog standard. You're certainly not going to be rallying for anyone to win an Oscar after this, but it's serviceable. In fact, that's a pretty good way to describe this film. Serviceable. It doesn't do anything more than it has to. Kind of like Homer Simpson from The Simpsons. Okay, that one was a stretch. And because of that, it remains a entertaining, if somewhat forgettable ride that is accentuated by a talented cast. So apparently I forgot to record an outro for this video, so here we go. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week I'm taking a look at Doctor Who the movie, since the new season of that just started. Very excited for that. It is of course Halloween right now, so I hope you guys are going to have a very spooky time tonight. I know I will be. But even if not, I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Oh, and here's a clip of me sneezing. Excuse me. I also didn't do a fucking clap sync. Clap.